Hey, happy 4th of July. I was going to do a different video for you guys because Independence Day has a lot to do with why I got into trucking. So I've done a video like this, probably been a year or two. I think I can do it better now. We've come a long ways on this channel since then. But, well, not really. A little ways. Let's put it a little ways. I used to just film and upload. I didn't know editing, didn't know how to do that. Then my son started to do it, and now he's teaching me, which is, boy, what a learning curve I got. But anyways, this video is going to be about, would I get into trucking today? Or would I recommend getting into trucking today? Well, the answer to that question is the same today as it was yesterday to 35 years ago when I started, and it should be the same in the future. It's going to be highly dependent on why you're getting into trucking and how long you'll make it. You've been around a couple, 3 decades like me. You'll see why people burn out, why people quit, why the turnover rate's so high, and we're going to talk about all that. The answer for me personally, would I get into trucking? I suppose I probably would, but boy, has it changed, and a lot of the reasons that really motivated me to get into trucking are really hard to find now. And we're going to talk about that in a minute, but I want to show you this baby book, all right? This is very old. So let me stop this. We'll put in that little video of my baby book to show you that I've been interested in trucks since I could talk. And I started driving trucks when I could reach the pedals as a farm kid. And 35 years later, I still love it. Not as much, but I can't see myself doing anything else. So let's watch that, and then we'll come back in just a second, and I'll go over what I think of trucking today and who should consider getting into it. All right, see you in a minute. See if I can do this one-handed. Look at this gem. This baby's over 50 years old. The wife says the pages have even turned yellow. Nah, I don't want to hear it. So here it has it written down. My mom told me my first words were big truck wow, and she has that under typical sentences. Big truck wow, no way, lawn mow, papa, nana. I don't know what that, oh, this is just Scott talking. That's my middle name, Scott. She just called me Scotty. I don't know why, but that didn't work good because I have an older cousin named Scott. So when we got into school together, someone had to give, and I just switched to my first name, which is Matt, and that's what we've used ever since. But anyways, I wanted to show you this for this video. Obviously, I've been interested in trucks since I could speak. Roger, Roger. There's a bunch of other stuff in here I won't bore you with, but this is very old relic, so I don't want to damage the pages. So the wife says. All right, let's get back to this video. Well, I haven't even started it. We're going to start it here in just a second. See you, bye. All right, stop laughing at the yellow pages. We're back. This video is sponsored by Schreiner Brock. No, it's not, but if you've never had one of these, they're really good. All right, so would I get into trucking today? I suppose me personally, I would, but it has become a lot harder and more difficult road, obviously, for reasons you probably wouldn't consider hard and difficult. Now, when I started, first of all, you got to go back to, I was a farm kid. We started driving around the ranch and farm and the valleys and helping neighbors and everything else when we could reach the pedals. When you reach 16 years old, they'd give you a farm license and you could drive out on the public roads that we were already driving on anyway, so that didn't matter. But it made it legal for insurance reasons and whatnot. Of course, we lived in a world where everybody didn't sue everybody either. And then that license, when you turned 18, at that time turned to what they called a chauffeur's license. And then when you turned 21, right about that time, they organized everything, and it turned it was just automatically switched over to the commercial Class A driver's license we have today. So with that said, I never took any test. I never went to no driving school. There wasn't really driving schools back then. I guess maybe there was some. You didn't hear about them. Maybe in the big cities, which I didn't live in. I never went to the DMV and took a written test, let alone a driving test. But the kids that weren't farm licensed guys that were getting their license out of high school that I knew, what a lot of them did, they'd hit up people like my dad and my uncles and stuff, and they'd practice on their trucks, and then they'd study the book and then go down and take all the written stuff and then pay my whoever, someone, uncle, friend, whatever, to come on down and let them use their truck for the test. I guess you can't do that anymore. It's my understanding now, and you guys correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think you have to go to a truck driving school. I'm not sure if that's nationwide, but I'm pretty sure in most states they've made it some kind of requirement. So you basically, I just think of how backwards the world is, guys. Who is it better to learn how to drive from? Someone like me that's been out there for 3.5 decades? Who's better equipped to teach my son, which I don't think he wants to be a driver, but if he did, who's better, me or some smuck trainer they got at Swift? Get out of here. In the eyes of the world and the laws and everything, they say that the Swift trainers are more qualified than I am, and he must go to Swift or some accredited truck driving school with some trainer. Think about that. So that would be hurdle number one for me. I don't know, boy. I guess I would have wanted to do it bad enough. I probably would have done it, but we didn't have a lot of money, and that would be my first hurdle. How would I have got my license? How do you get your license? I would really struggle with that, and I don't know if it would be for me. I know a mega carrier would not be for me. That would be the next thing. I would have to find someone to drive for like I did back then. Some old boy that owned a couple trucks. I started driving for my uncles friends, things like that. Something small, because there's no way I could work at a mega carrier. Never would happen. They wonder why they can't get drivers. Well, and that's why I'm doing this video on the 4th of July, because this holiday is about freedom. They have taken all the freedom out of trucking. All the reasons that attracted me and most people I knew back then to trucking was the freedom of the open road. They didn't want their boss with them. They didn't want to work around their boss. They wanted to be left alone. So what do these geniuses do? They put the boss in the truck with them. I mean, they got cameras that face every which direction. They got little telltale devices that if you go too fast, brake too hard, don't have your seatbelt on. They got lane sensors and brakes that automatically come on a truck. They've gone out of their way to make it the most miserable environment possible for somebody like me. I honestly don't know how you guys work under those conditions. I could never do that. I mean, I worked for UPS for a long time, and they're a micromanaged company. But they weren't quite that bad, believe it or not. These mega carriers are far worse. And we were union, so they really didn't mess with us, you guys have no recourse. They could just yell at you and scream at you and fire you, and there's nothing you can do. A little bit different in the union. That's not going to happen that easy. And if they break any contractual rules, let them fire you because you're going to be rich. So that would be my first hurdle. How would I get my license? So... and other than that, that's what I want to get to in this video. I've said it over and over and over and over again, and I'm going to say it again. If you get into trucking for money, you've lost your dang mind. Only a fool would do that. You can make way more money hour for hour, dollar for dollar in some kind of skilled trade like go get your contractor's license, plumbing, electrician. I got a nephew that makes $100,000+ a year as a lineman for the electric company. I know people that sell cars that make $100 to $150,000 a year. Trucking used to be a really good way to make a living. Now it's not really, man. Is there money there? Sure. Can you make 50, 80, maybe even $100,000 a year as a truck driver? Yeah, but you're gone all the time. If you can score some good local job like UPS, okay, fine. But that's kind of a different thing of trucking. I'm not really addressing that. If you want to get into trucking just for the money, I would look for local work. Forget this over-the-road crap. If this ain't in your blood, if you don't love being out there, if you don't love being trucks, this is not for you. You're going to hate it, I guarantee. Get you a good job like UPS, or if you're a young, strong guy, get in the food service business, Cisco, stuff like that, US Foods, whatever. Yeah, I think, are they the same company now? I don't remember. Whatever, beer truck driver, Pepsi don't make that much, but on the local level, if you want to make trucking a job, do that, but don't do it over the road, because that's honestly a terrible way to make a living. In my opinion, there's no money for the most part in over-the-road trucking unless you're an owner-operator, which is why I do what I do. And yeah, I make decent money, but I'm out there a lot. I work a lot. I could make more money dollar for dollar, hour for hour doing something other than this. So, first of all, that's my suggestion right there. How many times have I said first of all? This is probably like third or fourth of all. If you don't love trucks and trucking and being on the road, this is not for you. Go do something else. I can't recommend that highly enough. So, the answer to the question, the reason for this video is, would I recommend trucking to somebody? Well, the answer is still the same. Only if it's in your blood. If you get excited about trucks and, man, they just get you excited and you want to drive one and whatever, then that's the guy that should be a truck driver. If it's a guy that's like, I can make good money being a truck driver. No, you won't. No, start thinking different. Go do something else. Trust me on this. I've been around a long, long time. You can do much better doing something else, okay? Even an owner-operator pay. I'm home every weekend and take a lot of time off, but you guys have watched my videos over and over again. At the end of the day, honest wages to me after all my expenses are 120 grand a year or so. Yeah, that's decent money. But I could do that and be home every night. You know what I mean? So there's other ways to make that kind of money than being out there on the road 2, 3, 4 days a week. So if you don't love it, don't do it, because you're going to hate it. This is a tough lifestyle, man. Being gone from your family, sacrificing things, being alone a lot, which I like. I can be alone. I'm happy with that. I love to come home, and one thing about the technology now is I get to FaceTime with my kids every night, so that makes it better than it used to be. Yeah, I don't know. If this really doesn't excite you, I would definitely not do it. So that's my answer. I wanted to do this on the 4th of July because, in my opinion, all these companies out there have shot themselves in the foot, so to speak. They have ruined every reason guys used to have for getting in truck driving. And most of those guys were just good old boy farm kids, cowboys, whatever, pretty good hands. Now what do they got? They got flip-flops that can't do anything else, so they think, I'll go drive a truck. Well, you wonder why your truck drivers are the way they are and why you have such a low class of people driving your trucks and why you're struggling to get truck drivers. Because you have a mental illness and you are so control happy that no one wants to work under those circumstances. That's me. I would never do it. Some reason I couldn't keep this truck going. If I couldn't find a small, good old boy to work for, I'd get out of trucking. I'd just be done. Hang it up, and I'd probably just retire. But if not, I would definitely go do something else. I'd go sell cars. I mean, whatever. A lot of friends do that. They make good money. It's not hard work, and I wouldn't have to put up with they don't have a camera at your desk watching you all day like these weirdos at the mega carriers with driver-facing cameras. I'll never understand. I don't understand that logic anyways. What could it possibly do? Maybe it could show that you weren't on the phone, but it opens yourself up to a liability that as soon as that defense attorney sees you have a driver-facing camera, he's going to summons that footage from that. And if you were on your phone, they just start adding zeros to the lawsuit. I don't understand it. I think they do it just because they're weird and they like to watch people and call them up and chew them out, because that does something for them, all in the name of safety, right? All right, guys, have a good 4th of July. That's my answer. That's all I know about. I guess I'd get into trucking still, yes, but it is certainly not the same as it was way back then. All right, we'll catch you on the next one. Bye now.